What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? We got more MLB Trade Deadline news and rumors to talk about. We got to talk about Max Scherzer, Trea Turner, Kris Bryant, Kimbrel, Joey Gallo. We had a couple of trades happen tonight. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it. And what's going on, baseball fans? How are we doing? 181 people to start things off. What is going on, everyone? Hope everyone's had a good day. Hope everyone is fed. Hope everyone is healthy. Hope everyone's ready to talk some baseball. What's going on, everyone? Hope everyone, again, is doing well. We have some news, some rumors to talk about. We had a couple of trades happen today. Well, we had one trade happen today, and now it's hit a bit of a snag. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But, hey, a lot of big names out there, a lot of rumors flying around. So a lot of familiar faces in the chat. Glad to see you all coming back. Anyone new, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate that. If you guys can, please hit that like button for me. I know all the YouTubers like to say that, but really, it helps. The more likes there are, the algorithm likes it. But also, if, whoops, wrong button. If anyone is new, hit that subscribe button for me. Again, hit that like button. Hit the bell button for me, everyone, if you can. That helps get the notifications out to you a little quicker. Hit the share button. Tell anyone that wants to come in and talk some baseball. But yeah, let's get to it. So, again, we have a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of rumors, a lot of news. So I'm not going to waste really any time, but we had a trade, a pretty interesting one. I mean, I wasn't expecting this to happen. I wasn't expecting this trade. I mean, I was maybe expecting this team to make a trade, but maybe not in this way. But the Seattle Mariners and the Houston Astros have come together for a division trade. And Kendall Graveman is heading to the Astros. I mean, wow, it took me a little bit to kind of digest this. But, man, I mean, what a get for the Astros here. One of the better relievers in the game today. But for the Mariners, I kind of like it. I mean, that bullpen has been amazing. I think they could do well without Graveman. I think they should be able to keep it up, but I like that they're looking towards the future. They're not straying away from keeping an eye on the future. But let's go take a look at this really quick. Let's go break down the trade, and we will get to it. Here we go. Let's share the screen here for you. All right, let's go take a look at the trade first. All right, so on baseball trade values, as we can see here, Kendall Graveman and also Montero going to the Astros. And going back to the Mariners, we have Joe Smith and Toro. So let me actually pull up the Astros top prospects here. And let's take a look. I'm not sure if Toro is still going to be here. Maybe they've already updated it. Looks like they've already updated it. Or actually, well, no, he might have been taken off. But I believe with Toro, let me just check the Mariners real quick. Maybe they put him on the Mariners already. Yeah, not seeing him here. But Toro was a top prospect at one point. He was higher on the Astros list. But let me actually pull up Toro. Abraham Toro on Fangraphs. So let's go take a look at this. And one more time before I kind of move on with everything. This trade, once again, baseball trade values. This is what I look at for pretty much anything trade related. This is a great website. They're not perfect by any means, but they have over a 95% accuracy rate where they use similar algorithms, similar to what Major League Baseball teams use. It's not perfect by any means, but this is, in my opinion, the best resource out there when it comes to trades. They've had over 200 real-life trades in this, and over 95% have been accepted. I'm in no way affiliated with this website at all. I love the site. What can I say? But for the Astros, let's go take a look at the bullpen really quick for the Astros. So Graveman is going to slide right into a setup role. I think that's good. The Astros really needed a bullpen arm. I really think that was a key key thing for them. They have been kind of lacking in the bullpen this year. Let's go take a look real quick at where they ranked. So on the year so far, their starting pitching has been very solid this year, but for the bullpen, they're 17th on the year. They have a couple of good pieces in that bullpen, but I feel like, if you're going down the stretch, and the Astros, they're going to be a dangerous team in the playoffs. If they could have added another arm, I thought that would have been really good. And I think Graveman is only going to solidify this for them. Let's go take a look at some of the numbers with Kendall Graveman. What exactly is he bringing to the Houston Astros? So far on the year, this guy is having just an insane year. Look at the 0.82 ERA. Yes, the FIP is about 2 runs higher, so the expected numbers don't paint that kind of a picture with the ERA, so be aware of that. But that FIP is still really good. That's a very good FIP. He's not striking out a ton of guys, about 9 strikeouts per 9. He's going to be a solid arm for that bullpen. He's really gotten it done this year for the Mariners, and I actually want to go take a look. For the Mariners, they're in it. They're in contention right now, and I want to go pull up the Mariners right now. So they did get Joe Smith in return. So let's go take a look. Is this the Mariners? Yeah, this is the Mariners. So, wait, no, that's the Marlins. Whoops. Seattle. Here we go. Alrighty. So, as of right now, Joe Smith can slide into a middle relief role, but they've had a lot of guys this year really step up. Graveman was a bright spot in that bullpen, but they've had some other pretty solid guys like Sewald is the closer. They got Steckenrider in there too. So I think for the Mariners, with Kendall Graveman, he was going to be a free agent after this year. That was kind of one thing I was, wondering about, because the Mariners are in a bit of a weird spot because they're in contention. Oh, we got a super chat from Jack. Let's go Red Sox. Big trade coming soon. I'm going to be honest with you, my friend. As a Red Sox fan, knowing how Chaim Bloom operates, I'm not seeing any big trades. You keep seeing Anthony Rizzo's name out there. I feel like it would be more if the Red Sox were to add a first baseman, especially a left-handed bat of a first baseman, I could maybe see a Carlos Santana. I think it's going to be easier for the Red Sox to be able to put that salary into their payroll. They got to watch out because they are pretty close to that luxury tax line. With an Anthony Rizzo, you're going to have to pay, or the Cubs would have to send over some money to be able to lower that salary. He's due about $6.5 million for the rest of the year. That would put the Red Sox over that line for a Carlos Santana, and because they would be sending money back in that scenario, the Red Sox would have to send prospects back. But the Red Sox aren't really in a position right now to be getting rid of prospects. It would have to be, I feel like there's just too much that you have to look into with that kind of a trade. But for Carlos Santana, I could see something like that. Look out for Carlos Santana, possibly for the Red Sox. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but that could be a name I think is more likely than an Anthony Rizzo. But knowing how Chaim Bloom operates, he's probably going to end up finding, the janitor down the road, and he's going to find a way for him to help out the team. So, Chaim Bloom, that guy is always working hard behind the scenes, but looking for a diamond in the rough. That's what Chaim Bloom likes to do. But going back to the Mariners bullpen, they have a lot of good arms in this bullpen. It's going to be interesting to see how the bullpen does. People are, going to shuffle up and down because of Graveman's departure. So will the Mariners bullpen, which has been a strength for them this year, are they going to be able to stay in it? We'll have to wait and see. So, but they do have some good arms in there. But Graveman, again, is really going to help out Houston. I really like this move for Houston. This team, the starting pitching has been solid. They have the best offense in all of baseball. I honestly really think this is going to be really big. The only weakness that they really had on this team, they could use, if they went out and got a Max Scherzer, that would be nuts. Their rotation as a whole is pretty solid, but when it comes playoff time, I do wonder a smidge about, Greinke is great to have, but I feel like you need another guy there. I wonder if Scherzer ends up doing it, but we'll talk about Max Scherzer in a little bit. He would have to waive his no trade clause to go to Houston. Would he waive it for Houston? I don't know about that. That's going to be, that'd be interesting to see, but the starting pitching as a whole has been good, but the bullpen needed some help. Kendall Graveman is really going to be just a solid arm down the road for them. So tell me what you guys think of this trade. Do you like this trade for the Astros? Do you like this trade for the Mariners? And actually, real quick, let me actually see if I can pull up Abraham. Actually, let me come back to you real quick. But Abraham Toro, this was a guy where, you know, more of a power kind of a guy, more of a raw power kind of a guy. You know, decent speed. He has had a bit of a taste with Houston. I believe he came up for a little bit last year. Didn't really perform very well, but he's done really well in the minors. He was one of their higher prospects at one point. I'm not sure where he ranks now, but I'm guessing he's probably not considered a prospect now because he's been getting a lot of playing time. But yeah, not really doing too well. It looks like maybe he needs a change of scenery. This could be a guy, you know, Kyle Seager is going to be a free agent soon. Maybe this guy could be your next third baseman at one point down the road. Have to wait and see. But I like this move for the Mariners. And again, I think this is a good trade for both sides. A bit of a slight overpay for the Houston Astros. I mean, and that's what if you want to go get the guy that you need, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. You're going to have a bit of a minor overpay, and that's what the Astros did here. I like this move for the Mariners. I like it for the Astros. I think this is a good trade all around. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you like this trade? Give me a thumbs up. If not, give me a thumbs down. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I really like it. I really like it a lot. So we have another trade to talk about, and that, let me actually pull up the stats real quick. So we did have another trade happen today. It involved one of the, you know, more attractive starting pitchers out there. However, the trade has hit a bit of a snag. And as of right now, Tyler Anderson, the trade to the Phillies is on hold. It was reported at one point today that a deal was done, but it looks like there's something going on with the medicals of one of the players heading back to the Pirates. So let's go pull up that story really quick. I would imagine this deal is probably going to get done at some point. You'll find a way to switch out one of the players. But it says here, as of around 5 o'clock tonight, despite multiple reports indicating the deal had been finalized, the trade now looks to have hit a snag, according to John Heyman. So it says here, Anderson he was still in his Pirates gear earlier. He was throwing in the bullpen earlier today. They did skip his start, so I would imagine this is going to get done. I would imagine this. If we take a look at the trade here on Baseball Trade Values, once again, another trade that is approved by the Baseball Trade Values system. I mean, this is as even as it gets. Anderson, I think, would be a nice addition for the Phillies. I was kind of expecting the Phillies more to look into some bullpen arms, but hey, getting another starting pitcher is not going to hurt. I think they could use some more starting pitching depth. I don't think that was a bad area to address. Oh, we got a super chat. As a Mariners fan, I am super sad because Graveman is lights out. I agree. And our clubhouse culture feels ripped apart going to our rival. I know. That was the one thing. I'm right there with you. That was a kind of a tough one. But you know what? Sometimes it's not a bad idea to trade with your division rival as long as it makes sense for both teams. Look at the Red Sox and the Yankees. They made that trade for Ottavino. And look how good Ottavino is doing for the Red Sox. I mean, I don't know. It's not really helping out the Yankees too much right now. But, you know, hey, for the Mariners, they're getting a pretty solid guy, a young guy in an Abraham Toro. Graveman, I think they can live without him. I mean, I think they can live without him. I kind of agree with what they're doing because they're not in a World Series win now kind of a mode. They're still rebuilding. And, you know, I think it made sense to trade him because he was going to be a free agent and he was one of the better relievers this year. And, you know, I think for the Mariners, they must have felt comfortable enough with their bullpen to be able to kind of absorb that blow, absorb that departure. So I think that was, I know it stings a little bit, but I think it's going to be good, you know, in the long run. I like that the Mariners are still keeping an eye on the future, you know, looking forward. Of course they would like to make the playoffs this year, but they have a mission. They are on a mission right now to be good for, you know, not just next year, but for years to come. So adding a guy like that could come back to bite the Astros in the hiney. What can I say? But getting back to this trade, I think it's good for the Phillies. They're adding some depth. I don't think he's been officially added here. I mean, obviously, because the trade's not done. But, I mean, if you take a look, Zach Wheeler, Nola, I mean, they've been really good. Zach Eflin, I believe he's on the DL right now. Yeah, so he was having some knee issues, so hopefully he can come back soon. But I really like that top three for the Phillies, Wheeler, Eflin and Nola. I thought that was really good. And now you're going to add a Tyler Anderson, a guy from the left side. They could use another left-handed arm. I mean, Matt Moore they have here, but I mean, how has Matt Moore done this year? I feel like it's been nothing crazy that jumps off the screen at you. Where is he at? I mean, yeah, the ERA doesn't look all that great. FIP doesn't look all that great. So, but with a Tyler Anderson, I like it. I like it a lot because he's having a good year. He didn't cost all that much. And, but yeah, he's been pretty solid for the most part through 18 games. If we go take a look, the ERA is a 4.35. FIP is slightly lower. It's a depth arm. It's a guy, a 4 in your rotation, a respectable guy that can go make his turn every 5 days. I think this is going to be good for the Phillies. Hopefully the deal can get done for them. But I think the Phillies, they can't stop there. I mean, we need to take a look here at, their main concern is the bullpen. They need a guy for that bullpen. If they could go get Kimbrel, that would be amazing. There's plenty of guys out there. Graveman would have been a nice option too. There is, someone like a Richard Rodriguez. We'll talk about him here in a little bit. There are names out there, but I think the Phillies really need to address the bullpen. I think it was nice to add a starting pitcher. That's obviously going to help you. It's going to improve the depth, but they need to address this bullpen. I think the offense is fine. Sure, could they go out and maybe go get a center fielder? I mean, yeah, that could help, but yeah, the Phillies, they rank near the bottom right now in Major League Baseball in relief pitching, so they need to address this in any way they can. We'll have to wait and see what they end up doing, but let me know what you think down below in the comments. Let's assume this trade will get done. What do you think of this move for the Phillies? Do you think this is a good move? Do you think they should have gone elsewhere? I actually kind of like it because the Phillies farm system, another thing that I like about it is they have not a very deep farm system, and the fact that they were able to go get a pretty decent arm, in a Tyler Anderson, and it didn't really cost them all that much, maybe a couple lower level prospects. I mean, once again, the Pirates are getting Gutierrez and Hernandez. So, those are guys, I mean, I believe one of them was the number 28 prospect and the other one was the number 32 prospect. So, I mean, they didn't really have to give up a whole lot. So I like it. I like it a lot. But overall, hey, good trade. So let's move on to our next story. So as we can see here, Max Scherzer. I mean, we've gotten the trades out of the way now. Let's get to the juicy stuff. Let's see about Max Scherzer. What is going on with Max Scherzer? So Max Scherzer, as of right now, I mean, still a national, but there have been some updates today, some pretty decent updates. So let's go take a look at this really quick. All right, so, I mean, we have a few different things to talk about here with Max Scherzer. There are about 3 different things that kind of came out today in the news that, some pretty juicy developments. So let's take a look at this first. At least 8 teams, as of right now, are in the running for a Max Scherzer. So Jason Stark had the tweet here. You had the Dodgers, the Giants, the Padres, the Red Sox, the Rays, the Blue Jays. Hey, the Astros are there. So the Astros have made a call. Will he approve a trade for the Astros? I don't know. And the Mets. So I did read somewhere else that he probably wasn't likely, or it probably wasn't likely for the Mets to get in on a Max Scherzer. I mean, they've made a call, but I don't know if they're really going to work with the Mets on that. I don't see it, but it's pretty interesting here. Also heard the Yankees checked in and were told he was unlikely to okay a trade there. Very interesting. And the Mets could be a long shot for the same reason. So yeah, I don't see him going to the Mets. The Astros, while it would be a great fit, would he approve a trade there? But there were a couple of other things to take note of. So if we take a look at Mark Feinsand, it says here, it remains to be seen if Max Scherzer will be traded, but a source said the pitcher strongly prefers the West Coast. I've said this in a stream, I think maybe a couple of nights ago. I said, I think Scherzer could end up going, I think he's going to end up going to one of those teams. The Dodgers, the Giants, or the Padres. That's just what my gut is telling me. If I were to make a prediction here, I think he's going to go to either one of those teams, or he goes to the Rays. I think the Rays could shock the world and go make a big trade for him. I would not count that out. As long if they could get money, to help kind of pay off a little bit of that salary, I don't see why. I mean, they have the prospects to get it done. So, but with one of these 3 NL West teams, these 3 teams are in an absolute dogfight right now. If they go get a Max Scherzer, that is a game changer. That completely turns the tide for, a team's chances. I mean, not just for the division, but honestly, if I'm going to be on the record right now, I get predictions wrong a lot, but I personally think it's going to be one of these 3 teams in the World Series. That's where if I were to lay my money down right now, I would say one of these teams are going to be in the World Series, out of the National League. That's just my bet. I don't know. The Mets, they just haven't shown me to be healthy and consistent enough. The Brewers, I don't know. They're going to have enough talent to be able to get there. I don't know. So I think it's going to be one of these 3 teams, and that to me makes the most sense for a destination for Max Scherzer. One of these teams, I think, is going to do it. Oh, we got a super chat coming in. Abel Edens, as we're on the topic of the Nats, think Trea Turner gets moved. Also, loving the channel growth. Keep up the good work. I really appreciate that, my friend. We have been hitting our stride lately on this channel. It's been going just so well, and we're almost at 400 people in the chat tonight. I appreciate you all coming out tonight. It's been great to see, hey, more of you guys coming out, want to talk some baseball, so appreciate that. But as for Trea Turner, I wonder if he ends up maybe getting moved in the offseason. I feel like that might be, and my gut is telling me probably more offseason, but hey, it's trade deadline, anything can happen. So if the right package comes along, Trea Turner, the thing with a Trea Turner, if I were to actually, real quick, we'll talk about Trea Turner here in a second, but the thing with a Trea Turner, why I'm thinking it's going to maybe be more of an off-season kind of a thing, I hate to, put a, be a downer about it. Of course, I would love to see Trea Turner go somewhere. If I could see on my screen Trea Turner gets traded to blank, I'd lose my mind. It would be amazing. What a moment that would be. But for Trea Turner, the reason why I think it's going to take maybe, a little more time for a trade like this to work is look at the value. He's at a 67.3. That's a lot of value for a Trea Turner. There's going to be a lot of teams that get in on him. I don't know. I'm wondering if it's going to maybe kind of have to wait till the offseason. I definitely keep your eyes peeled. I definitely think something could happen. Of course, it's trade deadline. Anything can happen. But Trea Turner, I don't know. I have to wait and see. But if I were to put money on it, I think it's probably, if he does end up getting traded, more of an offseason kind of a move. But hey, if the Nationals are really willing to commit to a rebuild, oh my goodness. The time is now. The teams are getting desperate. They want to make a run for the World Series this year. And but Trea Turner is also under control too. So that's another thing. Be interesting. So Trea Turner. But for Max Scherzer, we'll get to Trea Turner here in 1 second. That's actually my next story. So as of right now, like I said, here are the teams that Jason Stark is hearing about. Mark Feinsand is saying he prefers to go out west. And, if I were to be, kind of thinking with my gut here, thinking realistically, I would imagine the Nationals are going to want to listen. They're going to really take into consideration what Max Scherzer wants to do. This guy's helped them win a World Series. He's the face of the Nationals right now. I would imagine they're going to talk with him. They're going to communicate with him and say, hey, listen, where do you want to go? What team would you like to go to? We love you. You've been amazing for this organization. Let us help you out a little bit. We are going to trade you, but could you tell us what teams would you really strongly prefer? I could see something like that. And if he is preferring the West Coast, good grief. Take your pick. Out of these 3 teams, I think the Dodgers would have the best chance at getting him because they don't really seem to care about payroll, and they have the better farm system out of these 3 teams. So I think the Dodgers personally would have the best chance. I feel like they've been kind of quiet. I feel like I haven't heard much about the Dodgers, and those teams that are quiet, usually those are the ones they end up doing something. I don't know. You're hearing about the Padres a lot. Haven't really heard too much about the Giants either. So have to wait and see. If I were to put money down, the Dodgers, right? That'd be crazy. But then, the Padres are always making trades left and right, but they've gotten rid of so many of their prospects. So what else could they do? What other prospects could they really give up, or that they would be willing to give up? Are they just going to completely get rid of that farm? I don't know. But another thing to take note of here is Ken Rosenthal also said today that teams pursuing Scherzer believe the Nats want to act within 48 hours to create time to work through his no trade. So keep an eye on that as well. Chances of Scherzer making his start Thursday seem remote. Scratched from his last start due to the right triceps discomfort. Teams might ask, how do we know he's healthy? So that is something to take in. I mean, Max Scherzer, he also has a very interesting contract. So I would imagine, they're probably really trying to get deep into stuff now. Because, I mean, he's got the weird contract where he's got all this deferred money. He's got the no trade clause as well. I mean, if the Nationals want to trade him, they really, really need to get it going a little bit. We got Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, 4 o'clock. So we got 2.5 more days, or 3 full days. But yeah, that's something to take a note of with Scherzer. Oh, we got a super chat coming in. Cool Jags, my boy Rob, did you already talk about the Astros getting Kendall Graveman? I did. That was my first story. Thought it was a good move for both sides. Also, would be awesome if they can get Scherzer too. I agree. I actually mentioned that earlier. I mean, they needed to address that bullpen, but I think if they could get one guy for the top of the rotation, to go alongside of Zach Greinke, I mean, that would be huge. Will he approve a trade to the Astros though? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But, so those are the three things about Max Scherzer right now. Here are the teams: Dodgers, Giants, Padres, Red Sox, Rays, Blue Jays, Astros, Mets. Looking like he's preferring the West Coast. And the Nationals, they want to start acting a little, they want to start acting quick here. They want to get something done maybe, in the next 48 hours or so. Just because of the no trade and the contract as well. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. What do you think in the chat? I want you to type a team for me. Type down a team. Where do you think Max Scherzer is going to end up going? Tell me what team. Giants, Padres, Dodgers, the Rays. Do you think he stays? Let me know. Tell me what you think down below in the comments. I want to see what you guys are thinking. Wow, we're almost back up to 500 people in the chat. Really appreciate that, everyone. I'm seeing a good mix. I'm seeing Giants, Dodgers. I see Braves. Look at the Braves. Hey, the Red Sox. I mean, I will say this right now. If my Red Sox, I don't think the Red Sox are going to get Max Scherzer, but if they got Max Scherzer, oh my God. I tweeted this earlier today. I would rip my pants off. I would go run outside and scream and cry in utter joy if that happened. If the Red Sox got Max Scherzer, I would lose my collective mind. And then you get Chris Sale back. Oh, I mean, come on. My giraffe neck Robbie would come out right then and there. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Giants. I'm seeing a few Red Sox in there. So I have to wait. I mean, hey, don't count out the Blue Jays and don't count out the Rays. I'm telling you, don't count out the Rays. So let's go to our next story. I was just talking about this one earlier. But as of right now, Trea Turner, there is some news on Trea Turner. He has been put on the COVID list, so that is something to keep an eye on. Is that going to be something that ends up, kind of maybe keeping him in Washington for now? But let's go take a look here at what's going on with a Trea Turner. So this was yesterday where we first started hearing about this, because the Nationals general manager, Mike Rizzo, came out and basically said everyone but Juan Soto is available. So, and then Peter Gammons reported as well that the Nationals don't really seem too motivated to move on or to keep a Trea Turner long term, which blows my mind. I don't know. They must be really thinking rebuild as of right now. If they're the only one they want to keep is Juan Soto, I mean, I don't know. But this was yesterday. So as of today, beyond Turner, I mean, yeah, that's what I basically just said. So, and he also just did test positive for COVID-19. So that's something to keep an eye on. I believe he needs to be out for a week or so. I forget the details on that. I think it's a week. So there was also something that John Morosi put today. So the Mariners have been on the hunt for a second baseman. That's one thing about Trea Turner. to keep an eye on is, he doesn't have to play short. He's very athletic. I mean, this guy is one of the best sprint speeds in all of Major League Baseball. He can play other positions. He can go play second. He can go play center field. Trea Turner isn't just a shortstop like a Trevor Story. He can move around. He's played other positions. And the Mariners, John Morosi is thinking, are one potential suitor. They do have the high-end prospects, and this is a guy where he kind of fits the bill. They traded away a Kendall Graveman, who is going to be a free agent, but getting someone under control, and I was saying this the other night, the Mariners, if they could definitely go out and get someone that's under control, that would make sense. That's what I was saying the other night. I was saying maybe Kyle Gibson could be an option. Jose Berrios could be an option because they're under contract for next season. But for a Trea Turner, this would make a lot of sense. I mean, this is a guy where, sure, you have JP Crawford at short, but they could just put Trea Turner right there at second base. Kyle Lewis has had, his injury history or his injury problems this year, so Trea Turner could go play some center if he needed to. So, very interesting. I think the Mariners could be a really good fit. Let's go take a look here at what it would take for the Seattle Mariners to go get a Trea Turner. I feel like I did this yesterday. Let's take a look here. Also, I just want to make sure the music's playing. Okay, music's playing. All right, we're good. So, let's take a look here. What would it take for the Mariners to get a Trea Turner? So, again, we saw the value earlier. He has a 67.3 value. And for the Mariners, I mean, they have a pretty good farm system. They have, let me actually pull it up real quick. I believe, no, I don't want to look at the boardwalk on Daytona Beach. Come on, what are we doing? All right, here we go. So, Fangraphs, very, very great website. They have their own farm system rankings here. Seattle has the 6th best farm system according to Fangraphs. So, they definitely have some prospects they could give. The question is, do they want to part with these prospects? It's very, I don't know. I wonder if, I think it depends on if the right trade came along. And again, with a Trea Turner, he is not a free agent until 2023, so they would have him for next season too. Is this a guy that maybe you could trade for and, lock up to a, an extension of some sort, 4 or 5 year extension, something like that? I would imagine Trea Turner maybe wants to go test the open market. But for the Nationals, I mean, what would it take to get a Trea Turner in Seattle? So the Mariners right now, if we're to take a look at some of these top prospects, you're not going to get rid of a Jared Kelenic. You're not going to get Julio Rodriguez. You're not going to get Emerson Hancock. You're not going to get George Kirby. I mean, could you maybe send over a Noelvi Marte? Is that possible? I mean, I would imagine Mariners fans probably don't want to do that, but Trea Turner is so good. I mean, let's just put Marte in there because that really would help close the gap. If we take a look, Noelvi Marte. Oh, we got a super chat coming in. James, check Morosi tweet. Ooh, what is going on with Mr. John Morosi? What is he telling us? Ooh, juicy. Ooh, oh man, James coming through with some juice. The San Francisco Giants have spoken with the Cubs about Kris Bryant, and the Cubs are evaluating 24-year-old catcher Joey Bart as one candidate. Oh, no way. I don't see that. There's no way. The values, I'd have to go plug in the values, but Bart, former number 2 pick, likely would only be available in a deal that involves players in addition to Bryant. So that makes sense, yes. Ooh, we got some juice. We got some juice here. I mean, oh my. Could we see something like this? Oh, I got to plug this in. We'll get back to Trea Turner here in a second. But oh my, we got to go plug in some guys here. What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, enough of the spam. Come on now. So, let's take a look here. Here we go. So, if we go take a look at the Giants, and if we take a look at the Cubs, so let's put let's put the Cubs here. Bryant. All right, so Bryant, as of right now, has a 13.9 value. So let's put in Bart, and let's see what the difference would be. So Bart, he has a 19.2 value. So that's actually not as far. I thought Bart was a little higher than this. What is going on with the spam here? What are we doing? What are we doing? Come on, what are we doing? So here we go. Do we have any moderators here in the chat? Man, where are the mods at? Action Jackson, where are you at tonight? Where are we at? Man, oh man. Anyway, let's see if... Yeah, oh, the calf neck army. The calf neck army. But, so let's take a look here real quick. Bryant, 13.9 value. Bart with a 19.2. So you're about... what, about roughly around 5, a difference of 5 million right there. So it did say here in this John Morosi tweet that you would have to have guys in addition to Bryant. So that seems to make sense here, because if we're looking at this trade, you would have to put in another guy. So this could be a possible package where if we go plug in maybe someone else, maybe someone that could help out their bullpen. Maybe a Craig Kimbrel, maybe. Oh, and look at this. I mean, you are right there in terms of value. The values are very close here. I mean, oh my. And then maybe with Bart, throw in another guy. You could have, if they are willing to part with a Joey Bart. Here's the thing. Here is the thing here. Because they did just draft a catcher last year, Patrick Bailey. So they have another catcher in their system. Patrick Bailey is a pretty good defensive catcher, a 55 field. He's a power hitting catcher. He needs to work on that hit tool a little bit, but he has a good arm and a good field. So they have a catcher for the future in a Patrick Bailey. That was a college catcher too, so he's not that far behind. But Joey Bart, could you make this happen? I wonder what Hum Baby Baseball thinks about this. So, again, looking at this trade, again, John Morosi was telling us the Giants have spoken with the Cubs about Kris Bryant, and Joey Bart is one candidate. So, and it says here as well, they would likely need some players involved with a Kris Bryant. Well, hey, you could use a bullpen guy too. I've said before, I think Craig Kimbrel would be a great fit for the San Francisco Giants. So here you go. Maybe Bart and maybe a couple other guys here to add in. I think this could get done. Why couldn't it? Why couldn't it? And this would really help the Giants out for this year. They really do need it. They would kill two birds with one stone here. You would get another bat and a Kris Bryant. I don't know what you do with Evan Longoria when he comes back, but then Kimbrel would be perfect for the bullpen. This to me, I don't think this is that bad. Bart, I know he's been this catcher of the future for you, but you do have a Patrick Bailey in that system as well. So I don't see, this is not that far off. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. Let's see if the Giants become a strong player for a Kris Bryant. I'm going to talk about Kris Bryant here a little bit more in a little bit, but let's get back to Trea Turner. So Trea Turner, if the Mariners were a good fit for a Trea Turner, I definitely could see this. I don't know if you part with a Marte. I don't know about that, but I just put him in because that would really close the gap in terms of value. So let me put in someone else here. So, I don't know, maybe you could throw in a couple of pitching prospects, maybe like a Brandon, maybe like a Juan Then. I've been using Juan Then a lot. So, I'll put in Williamson. I'll put in Williamson and then. And then, hey, this might, I don't know. In terms of value, this doesn't look all that bad. This doesn't look too bad. It's a bit of a slight overpay. Or actually, no, this is simply just accepted by the model. It's not even saying it's an overpay. So, if you really wanted to throw in one more guy. But I think if you're the Mariners, you could go get a Trea Turner if you really wanted to. So, I'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll have to see if there's any developments with a Trea Turner. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Do you think Trea Turner ends up getting traded? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know what you think. Do you think maybe they wait until the offseason? Let me know. Do you think Trea Turner ends up getting traded by the deadline this year? Tell me what you think. I'm seeing a couple of thumbs ups already. Nicholas has already given me a thumbs up here. Any more people? Ooh, Orioles. I think Julio Rodriguez could be moved for a Turner. I mean, you know, if you look at the terms of the value, if we go back here, I don't know if they get rid of a Rodriguez, man. I mean, if you're looking here, the value is a 66.4. I mean, but would they give up a Julio Rodriguez? I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know, man. But could you imagine Julio Rodriguez going back to the Nationals and he ends up developing into something, you know, something really special? And then you have an outfield of Juan Soto and Julio Rodriguez. I mean, come on. That would be just nasty. But I don't know. I would bet they're probably not going to get rid of a Rodriguez. They like him a lot. So we'll have to wait and see. But let's get back to our next story here. So we've talked about Scherzer. We've talked about Trea Turner. We've talked about a couple of trades that happened today. So let's go to our next story here. If we go take a look here. I believe, yeah, we were just talking about this one. So here we go. So for the Nationals, Kyle Schwarber is also drawing some interest. Kyle Schwarber, who is hurt right now. The guy's hamstring basically just blew up, and he can't. That was terrible to see because he was red hot and he was hitting everything out of the park every single night, it seems. So let's go take a look at this real quick. This was being reported by Jesse Doherty. So let's go take a look here. He reported here today, Kyle Schwarber is generating a good amount of interest according to a person with knowledge of the Nationals deadline discussions. Schwarber is still recovering from what Dave Martinez initially called a significant hamstring strain. Would make sense for an AL team. Now, I mean, you've been hearing about the Yankees. You know, the Yankees, maybe, you know, looking to add someone like a Joey Gallo. Well, if they're not able to add a Joey Gallo, you could always take the route of a Kyle Schwarber. So let's go take a look at what this would take. So let me get rid of this one here. Let's go Yankees. Because the Yankees, they could use a left-handed bat. I mean, I know they could probably use some more contact guys. I know Schwarber is kind of a, you know, more of a power kind of a guy. But, I mean, if you really did want to add a left-handed bat and you can't get a Joey Gallo, I mean, Kyle Schwarber could be someone. So, and then there's some other teams that could use a Kyle Schwarber. So let's actually pull up some numbers here. Let's go to some teams that could use some, you know what, I'm actually going to pull up here. Let me go to the splits leaderboard. So let's go to offense real quick. Overall offense, who are some teams that could use some offense that are in playoff contention? Who would be some good fits for a Kyle Schwarber? I'm thinking, you know what, let me actually pull up outfield. Who are some teams that could use an upgrade in the outfield? So let's take a look. So as of right now, I mean, I don't know, the Mets maybe? Nah, I don't see the Mets. They already got a lot of guys on that roster already coming back from injuries soon. I mean, could you do the Mariners? Maybe. Could you maybe do the Mariners? Does that work? Let me actually go pull up their... Let me go pull up their team here real quick. Could you do the Mariners? I don't know if they would do this. Would they do this? They could use another bat. They really could use another bat in Seattle. I think that would actually be a really nice fit. So, Zach Twins fan. Hey, perfect idea. The White Sox, they need some power. That could make a lot of sense. So, if we're going to take a look at the outfield, I mean, you got Jake Bauers here. And then you got Jared Kelenic. And you have Mitch Haniger. So, how is Jake Bauers doing this year? I mean, putting him over Jake Bauers would be an upgrade. I could see Seattle maybe being a decent fit. I mean, Mariners maybe. I could definitely see the Chicago White Sox as well, but they are getting guys back. So, I don't know. I wonder if they go for it. There are some teams that definitely could use someone like a Kyle Schwarber. But again, the Mariners, the White Sox, I could see that. Let me real quick. So let's do some splits. As a left-handed hitter, let's see. Where are teams ranking right now in left-handed hitting? So let's go to WRC plus. So you would think probably as of right now, especially with the hammy, probably, you know, a DH role. I think that could make a lot of sense, but hey, maybe he's okay for the outfield. Again, the Yankees, they definitely could use a left-handed bat. I mean, I know Schwarber is not really that, you know, high contact kind of a guy, more of a power guy. I mean, Toronto maybe. I don't know. Toronto looks like they could use some more left-handed hitting. Seattle, they could use an upgrade with a bat, and they don't rank very well in terms of offense. And with a Kyle Schwarber, he would be under control for next season, I believe. Let me actually pull up his contract real quick. Does he have it's a mutual option. So that is something, I'm not sure how that goes into play. Let me pull up the contract. So it's a mutual option. So we're going to take a look here. It doesn't tell us. Usually it tells us what that option is. So either way, he would be under, he could be under contract for next year. So I'm not sure what triggers that, but I don't know. But I think he would be a good fit with the Mariners. I think he could be a good fit with the White Sox. That could make some sense. Let me go back to the splits here. I mean, Cleveland, probably not. I mean, the Brewers could be fun. But if we were to talk terms of American League teams, Seattle, the White Sox actually rank pretty well with left-handed hitting. I mean, I could see it. I don't know. And I mean, if he can go play in the National League, if he can go play in the outfield, I mean, that would definitely help. But I could definitely see a team like the Yankees. I mean, he'd probably have to play the outfield with the Yankees, though, because, I mean, Giancarlo Stanton's at DH, so I don't know if he would really be a great fit. So, to me, I would think Seattle, and then the White Sox, they could use some power. I mean, they do rank well in terms of, you know, home and WRC plus, but so I have to keep an eye out for that with Kyle Schwarber. So he is getting some interest out there, even with the fact that he is, you know, still coming back from an injury. So have to keep an eye on that. So let's go back to you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you think Kyle Schwarber is going to end up getting traded. Let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you think so. Give me a thumbs down. Let me know what you think. Nicholas says no. What are we thinking here? Kyle Schwarber, is he going to get traded? Binks is giving a thumbs up. Sports predictions and stuff with a thumbs down. Smokey says no. Ari says yes. LGY Lemons is saying no. Hey, Nicholas, maybe the A's. That could be a pretty decent fit. I didn't think about that one. Maybe Oakland. That could be a pretty decent fit. So I'm kind of seeing a mix. I'm seeing some thumbs ups. I'm seeing some thumbs downs. So Kyle Schwarber, we'll have to keep an eye out for. But let's go here to our next story. Here we go. Moving on. But our next story here is we were just talking about Craig Kimbrel here. Let's move on to the Cubs. We got a couple of Cubs guys to talk about. The Cubs are the talk of the town in terms of trading talent away. And let's go focus on Craig Kimbrel. What is going on with Mr. Kimbrel here? So, according to the score in Chicago, or Bruce Levine of 670 The Score in Chicago, he writes this: the White Sox continue to scout the trade chips in the Cubs bullpen, most notably Kimbrel and Tepera. That's another name to keep an eye out for as well, is Ryan Tepera. So keep an eye out for that one as well. They just traded Chafin. Tepera would be a good arm for a bullpen as well. That Cubs bullpen's been good this year. Kimbrel is the most sought-after reliever on the trade market, so there's plenty of competition for his services. At least 7 clubs have shown serious interest in Kimbrel, including the Red Sox. Hey, come back home, Craig. Craig Kimbrel, if you're out there, come back to Boston. If you can keep doing what you're doing, I would love you, my friend. I would welcome you back with open arms. I would love that. But there's definitely going to be a lot of teams that could use a Craig Kimbrel. Again, I was talking about the Giants earlier. I had this trade pulled up. If the Giants were serious about going for a Kris Bryant, but they also want someone else, if that were to mean they would have to send back Bart, then this would make sense to me. I mean, you're killing two birds with one stone here. So there's a lot of places Kimbrel could go. I mean, any contender will find a home for him. The Dodgers make a lot of sense. The Padres make a lot of sense. The Giants make a lot of sense. I mean, really take your pick. I mean, honestly, pretty much any team out in the American League makes some sense. I don't know. So like the White Sox, I definitely could see it. Let's go take a look here at the turn, or let's take a look here. Pitching, let's see. And the Phillies, of course, the Phillies I was mentioning earlier. So as of right now, Philly, they're almost dead last. So Toronto could definitely use them. I mean, maybe the Angels, but I don't know. The Angels, I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're really in like a buy kind of a mode right now. Like I said, the Giants definitely. I mean, Houston, they did just go get Graveman, so I don't know. With a Kimbrel, I never quite really saw that because they're close to that luxury tax line. With a Graveman, he's going to be able to fit into their payroll. The Giants, definitely. The Braves, that could make some sense. So a lot of teams, and then these other teams that have good bullpens as well. Hey, take your pick here. Dodgers, Padres. Could you see the Mets? Could you maybe see the Mets do something that could? I mean, you could do a package deal of Bryant and Kimbrel to the Mets too. That could make some sense. So Kimbrel, and once again, keep an eye out for this, team, especially the White Sox. Look out for the White Sox. That could make some sense. Just go across town. Or the White Sox who maybe go for a Ryan Tepera as well. But there's going to be a lot of competition for Craig Kimbrel, and I think we all know that. So, but yeah, let me come back to you guys here. Let me know what you think in the chat. Let's get you guys involved here as well. Tell me where you think Craig Kimbrel is going to end up going. If you were to make a prediction here, where do you think Craig Kimbrel ends up going? Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Blue Jays, wherever. Where do you think? Let me know what you think. The Phillies, the Red Sox, the Astros. There's so many teams he can go to. Seeing a few Mets. Seeing Oakland. That could be interesting. I don't know about Oakland. I mean, that would be fun. The Dodgers. Seeing a couple of Phillies here. That seems to make a lot of sense. And the Phillies, to me, make a lot of sense because Dave Dombrowski has traded for a Craig Kimbrel before. So that's not going to be a surprise to me if he ends up in Philly. But let's move on. Let's stay with the Cubs. We were just talking about this guy earlier, Kris Bryant. So it's looking like the Giants may be – well, that's not the right one. So the Giants could be emerging as a favorite for a Kris Bryant. However, another team was checking in on Kris Bryant today, and that was the Tampa Bay Rays. Look at the Tampa Bay Rays getting involved. They are looking to make some noise. Let's get to the story here. So this is from Jeff Passan today. The reigning American League champion Rays, long recognized for their ability to win with minuscule payrolls, have had preliminary discussions about both Washington Nationals ace Max Scherzer and Chicago Cubs third baseman outfielder Kris Bryant. I mean, if the Rays were able to go get a Kris Bryant, I mean, good grief. So let's actually take a look real quick. Let's take a look at what the Rays are looking like right now in their infield. So the thing with Kris Bryant is he can move around. He can go play in the outfield. He can go play third. He can go play first. So he's not limited. As of right now, they have Wendell at third. So it'd be interesting to see where they would put him. I mean, you could always throw him out. I mean, you got the DH spot locked up now with a Nelson Cruz. I mean, you could always play him at first. I mean, that's definitely not out of the question if you ask me. If I actually pull up here, Kris Bryant on Fangraphs, how much has he played first this year? I think he's played first a little bit. Kris Bryant, come on. He's played first base 12 times this year, so he could play first. He has really expanded how all the spots that he can play. He's played, I mean, third base 28 times. He's played in right 28 times. He's played in left 27 times. Center field, he's played in center field 14 times. So he could definitely go. I mean, especially with the way the Rays like to kind of run their team, he can go play anywhere. He'd be a great fit with the Rays. So You could always put him at first. That makes a lot of sense. You know, any of these guys need a day off. I mean, Kris Bryant, he would be able to stay in the lineup. He makes a lot of sense for the Rays. And if we take a look here at where the Rays currently rank in terms of offense, they have a good offense this year. If we take a look on Fangraphs, Tampa Bay has the 8th best offense. So, hey, they would only be adding to this offense. If we take a look in terms of home runs, Tampa Bay's 13th. They could use a little more power. So Kris Bryant would bring a little bit more pop to that lineup. I could see that happening. So, hey, look out for Tampa Bay, man. If they go out for, you're hearing them right now with Kris Bryant. You're hearing them with Max Scherzer. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm waiting for the Rays to do something big. I'm waiting for it. I mean, the fact that you're hearing them involved, they have the prospects to get it done. They have the prospects. To me, the Rays are the most dangerous team this week. If you're hearing them being okay with bringing in these guys' salary, that's scary. That's a scary thought because they can go do anything. They can go take your pick if you're the Tampa Bay Rays. Hey, you want someone? You got the prospects to go get it done. So Kris Bryant, Max Scherzer, you could go easily get that done. The only problem is the money, but it doesn't seem like money's a problem if they're talking to them. And if you need to eat some money, these teams could eat some money, and that could mean, hey, more prospects back to them, which the Rays have. So it makes a lot of sense. So Kris Bryant, got to keep an eye out for him. Once again, earlier, John Morosi was reporting that the Giants are showing some pretty serious interest in Kris Bryant right now. They have someone out there scouting Joey Bart, and so the report is, if they could throw in another guy with a Kris Bryant, it could be likely they would be okay with parting with a Joey Bart. So got to keep an eye out for this one. Kris Bryant, I think he's going to go somewhere. That's going to be really interesting. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think Kris Bryant is going to be a Ray? Do you think he's going to be a Giant? Do you think he goes somewhere else? Let me know what you think in the chat. Where does Kris Bryant end up going? I'm seeing Braves. I'm seeing the Braves. I'm seeing a Giants here. I mean, hey, and of course the Mets. Of course the Mets are there too. That is definitely the Mets. I'm seeing another Giants. Pound for pound, says the Rays. Michael Carrillo, the Royals. Okay, I like it. Mark with the San Francisco pick. Couple of more Mets picks, seeing the Phillies. Hey, Cash Clinton, man. The Red Sox at one point, they did call about Kris Bryant in the offseason. So, hey, could the Red Sox maybe go out for a Kris Bryant? The one thing with Kris Bryant, he makes a lot of sense. He would fit really well with the Red Sox because Alex Cora likes guys that can move around. Kris Bryant can play anywhere. Alex Cora would probably faint at the possibility of getting a Kris Bryant because he can go play anywhere, and Alex Cora loves that. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and wait and see what happens. So I have a few more stories to talk about. Let's get to our next story. So as of right now, the Brewers, the Rays, and the Blue Jays, they're showing interest in a Kyle Gibson. So let's go take a look at the story. Kyle Gibson. Here we go. Where is the story? One second, everyone. Hold on one second. Alrighty, so hold on one second. I don't know where. Here we go. It's on MLB Trade Rumors. So, taking a look here. So, the Rays, they're showing, like I was just saying, with Max Scherzer, Kris Bryant. So, but they're also showing interest in Kyle Gibson as well. That doesn't surprise me. They really could use a starting pitcher. If they end up getting Max Scherzer, oh my, that's just scary. But I think Kyle Gibson makes some sense too. Kyle Gibson would really help out that rotation. We don't know what's going to be happening with Tyler Glasnow. They traded away Rich Hill. So could they add a Kyle Gibson? It's possible. So if we go take a look here at the Rays real quick. I had the Rays. Here we go. So as of right now, the Rays, they have Ryan Yarbrough, McClanahan, Waka, Patino. That was one of the reasons they got rid of Rich Hill, was to clear a spot for Patino. And they have Josh Fleming there as well. But Kyle Gibson would give the starting pitching a bit of a boost. So that could be a pretty solid veteran arm. He's having a great year this year. If we take a look at Kyle Gibson, having a phenomenal year this year, career year, has had a couple of bumpy starts lately. Let me actually pull up the game log, and we're going to take a look. So he had a bumpy start against Detroit, gave up 8 runs in that game, and he gave up 5 runs against Detroit again. So Detroit had his number in those 2 games. But he pitched a little better against Houston, so he bounced back against them. I mean, that just shows how red hot the Tigers are right now. They pummeled him for 13 runs over those 2 starts, and then he goes against the best offense in Major League Baseball in the Houston Astros, and he only gives up 2 runs over 6. So that's not too bad if you ask me. But Kyle Gibson, he would help out the Rays, but there were also a couple of other teams as well with a Kyle Gibson. So I mentioned the Blue Jays and the Brewers as well. So if we're to go take a look at those rotations real quick, I think I've said this before in my video, my most viewed video of all time, one trade that I would like to see from each team. I think I'm going to have to do that video every single year because that video did phenomenal. So taking a look, I had in that video Kyle Gibson going to the Blue Jays. I think that would make a lot of sense. So Alek Manoah is going to be coming back. He's going to be starting on Saturday. I just think they could use another guy. I think Ross Stripling would be better suited for the bullpen. That's just my opinion. I mean, Robbie Ray's having a good year. Steven Matz has been decent. Hyun-Jin Ryu, you know, it's Hyun-Jin Ryu, so one of the better pitchers in the game. I think a Kyle Gibson would be really nice for this rotation, and he can help out for next year as well. And then you have the Brewers too. So the Brewers, I think, could be a pretty decent fit. They have great starting pitching. Could you imagine Kyle Gibson? That's just more depth. I mean, as of right now, they have the second best starting pitching in Major League Baseball. Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, and, you know, Peralta's been really good this year. You know, Anderson and Hauser at the back end. Gibson would be a nice boost there as well. I think they need to pay more attention to some offense if they can. But hey, it wouldn't hurt to add a guy like a Kyle Gibson here. Don't see why that would be a bad idea. So keeping an eye out for Kyle Gibson. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to ask you guys this every single time we talk about someone. Let me know, where do you think Kyle Gibson's going to go? Do you think he ends up with the Rays, the Blue Jays, maybe the Brewers, maybe the Yankees? Tell me a team. Where do you think? Wesley Chad Larks, thank you for coming out tonight. Appreciate that. We're still at around 380 people strong right now. Let's see if we can get back into the 400s tonight. I will be going live pretty much every single night this week. And on Friday, I will be going live during the day to keep track of all MLB Trade Deadline rumors and coverage. So please, Friday, come out, join me. I'm going to be sitting here just relaxing for 3 hours, just keeping an eye out for the rumors that day. And I'll be breaking any trades that day as well. So, but definitely come back tomorrow night. Thursday night as well. I'll be talking. Thursday night's going to be a big night because that's the night before the trade deadline. So definitely be here Thursday night. That's going to be a big night. So, but I'm seeing a lot of different opinions about where Kyle Gibson could go. Seeing the Brewers, Blue Jays. I mean, maybe the Padres too. Could the Padres? They could use some starting pitching. I don't think Kyle Gibson's going to cost you all that much if you're the Padres. That actually makes a bit of sense. They could use some more starting pitching. Yeah, maybe the Phillies too. You know, but let's see what happens with Tyler Anderson. We'll have to wait and see. But moving on to our next story. So let's take a look here. We have our next story. That's not the next story. We just talked about that one. Our next story, let's talk a little Joey Gallo. Why don't we? Why don't we? I mean, what kind of a stream would it be if we don't talk about Joey Gallo on the Yankees? Yankee fans, I feel like Yankee fans are actually pretty split when it comes to Joey Gallo. I see a lot of guys saying, absolutely bring in Joey Gallo. But then I'm seeing a lot of other guys saying, no, our lineup is already pretty much full of Joey Gallos. So, but the Yankees have checked in on a Joey Gallo. Let me pull up the story here real quick for you. So, as of right now, Joey Gallo. So John Morosi was reporting this today. Here we go. So John Morosi, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Padres have had trade talks with the Rangers about Joey Gallo. Gallo's 24 home runs this season or more than all of the Yankees left-handed hitters combined. 22. So could be a good fit, but the Yankees, I've read a couple other places too where they have given them a call. I mean, of course, seems like they've been checking in on Joey Gallo forever, and same with the Padres too. The Blue Jays would be an interesting fit. I did pull up earlier the splits. If we take a look here at teams with left-handed hitting, Toronto could also use some left-handed hitting. They're 26 right now. Hey, could the Toronto Blue Jays be a serious contender for a Joey Gallo? Let's go pull up the Toronto Blue Jays. So if we're going to take a look here, their outfield as of right now, I mean, you got Springer, you got Lourdes Gurriel Jr., so over in right field, I mean, you got Randall Grichuk as of right now. I mean, Joey Gallo could be this offense is already stupid good. I mean, could you imagine adding a Joey Gallo to this? This would be nuts. So, very interesting. And then the Yankees as well. If we were to pull up the Yankees, why not? I think Joey Gallo would be a nice fit. They could definitely use a boost. So, as of right now, you got Brett Gardner out there. You can easily put Joey Gallo in for Brett Gardner. You got Aaron Judge out and right. So, to me, Gallo has a spot with the Yankees. That would make a lot of sense. And we also had the Padres. So, let's go take a look at where he could possibly fit in with the Padres. So, as of right now, I mean, you got Tommy Pham out there. Out in center, you got Trent Grisham. So, you could possibly put they did just bring in Adam Frazier too, so you would have to move some guys around. So as of right now, it's a bit of a log jam. I mean, you could essentially, you'd have to move some guys around. It would be kind of tough actually to fit Gallo in here, especially because they just did bring in Adam Frazier. So if they were to somehow part ways with an Eric Hosmer, I mean, and then you could slide one of these guys over to first, that could make some sense. I feel like the Padres, they need to focus more on some starting pitching. I actually don't mind that offense. I mean, I obviously like the offense, but I feel like the offense isn't really something they need to really go crazy about. I think they need to worry about starting pitching depth, a bullpen arm. I think that makes a little more sense. To me, Joey Gallo makes a lot of sense for a lot of teams. And again, pulling up the splits, the Toronto Blue Jays, the Yankees ranked near the bottom. Could the Mariners maybe jump in? We talked about the Mariners earlier with Kyle Schwarber. I mean, that would be an in-division trade. I don't see that happening. But, I mean, the Brewers could be a really fun fit. There's a lot of places Joey Gallo could go. So I have to keep an eye out for that. I have to wait and see. My personal belief is Joey Gallo ends up staying. I feel like the Rangers are just going to end up locking him up. I feel like, you're hearing all these talks. He wants to stay in Texas, according to reports. It just seems like, if you're not going to trade him, then just re-sign the guy. Keep him there long term. Get him signed up to an extension. I could see that happening. We'll have to wait and see. But let's get to our last story of the night. We are still at 350 people strong. I really appreciate you guys coming out tonight. But let's go to our last story. And I'm just going to touch on Jose Berrios really quick. So there are some reports out there that teams are looking into a Jose Berrios as part of a package, which, there are a couple scenarios here where this would work. So let's go pull this up really quick. A Jose Berrios. Where is the story? Jose Berrios. Hold on one second, everyone. I am not seeing. Where did it go? One second, everyone. I know I saw this somewhere. I saw there was I don't know what happened to the story. I must have clicked out of the page. Jose Berrios. Oh, latest on Jose Berrios. Was this it? No, that was from yesterday. I know I saw this somewhere. I know I saw that teams were looking at a possible package. Was it on CBS? No, I don't know. I completely just lost this story. I swear I had this story pulled up. Was it on today's rumors? Jose Berrios, where are you? Nope. Oh, wait, was that it? I don't know. I've lost the story, everyone. I apologize. But I did see a story today about Jose Berrios, about teams being interested in possibly a package for a Jose Berrios. I mean, that could make some sense. I did actually pull up something yesterday on last night's stream where if you wanted to get rid of a Josh Donaldson, you could make that work because Jose Berrios has himself a pretty decent value. He has a 42.9 value. And then Josh Donaldson has a negative 16.8. So if you really wanted to part with a Josh Donaldson, get out of that contract, this could be a scenario. I read somewhere today where maybe they could attach a reliever to him. So let me take off Donaldson. What I read today was that Taylor Rogers could be someone. But Taylor Rogers, I believe, just went on the IL. So, I mean, this would be a pretty big package. I could see that, honestly, we talked earlier today, or actually it was on a video that I did earlier today. I was reviewing all of the Fangraphs trade ideas, and they had a package of Jose Berrios and Byron Buxton going to the Phillies. Well, I think this would actually make a lot more sense for the Phillies because I don't think they need to really focus so much on the offense right now. They need another guy for that bullpen, and Jose Berrios would be good depth for the rotation. So I could actually see this being a pretty decent package. Let me actually plug in a trade here. So the Phillies, let's put in Berrios and let's put in Rogers. Again, what happened with Rogers today? Taylor Rogers, what was it? He got placed on the IL not too long ago. A middle finger sprain. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Yeah, those fingers can get pretty finicky. But let's say he's healthy and he's good to go. And we're putting in, where did he go? Here, Rogers, Phillies. So let's see. What would the Phillies have to give up in this scenario? I mean, it would definitely take a good amount. But I don't know. Earlier today with Fangraphs, they had some ideas for a package of a Byron Buxton and a Jose Berrios. But let's say we did this one instead. In that package, they had Howard going back to the Twins. Who was the other guy they had going back? They had Morales going back in there. Let me go pull up that trade one more time. Fangraphs. Let's make some trades. So they posted this 6 days ago. They had Spencer Howard, Bryson Stott. So you're actually getting pretty close here. I think this would I wouldn't do this. If I were the Phillies, I wouldn't do this. Personally, I just don't see it. So, I don't know. I mean, you're giving up your farm for this. I don't see why the Phillies would do this. I mean, the one thing I can think is they are in a win now mode to where it's like, all right, you know what? Forget about the farm. We'll just start fresh. Next year we'll get back to the farm here, but we have a talented team now. Let's go win now. But really, are these two guys that are going to help you win a World Series? That's the question. And they had here as well, they had like a Marchand as well. So, I mean, that's a lot, man. That is a lot. Marchand, I mean, this, I think, would make a lot more sense because the package that let me put in Ortiz as well. And I mean, even that, I don't know if that would actually work. But so again, the Fangraphs trade package they had earlier, it was Buxton and Berrios for Howard, Bryson Stott, Morales, Ortiz, and Marchand. Well, so I took out the Byron Buxton and I put in a Taylor Rogers instead. And I mean, you're getting kind of close here, but for the Phillies, I don't see it. I don't see why the Phillies should do this. I think this would be crazy. Sure, it could definitely help them out now, but you're getting rid of Howard. You're getting rid. MLB Trade Rumors have picked up the story about the Cubs and the Giants. So, I mean, MLB Trade Rumors, they got it. So, got to keep an eye out for the Kris Bryant rumors. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know about this. Jose Berrios, is he going to go anywhere? I wonder. I think the Twins want to compete for next year. But you also have to consider, are they, they're trying to lock up Berrios supposedly, and it's not really getting anywhere. So do they just get rid of him now and get some stuff in return? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. There was actually one more story I wanted to talk about tonight before I get out of here, and that's Richard Rodriguez. So Jason McKay, I believe. Jason Mackey, sorry. Sounds like talks are very much active on the Richard Rodriguez front. Blue Jays and Phillies are two teams I'm hearing. I think it would make a lot of sense for either of these teams. I think for the Phillies, he would make a lot of sense. They need some stability in that bullpen. So, Richard Rodriguez, I think we're going to see him traded. The Pirates are just unloading right now. So I think Richard Rodriguez definitely could be the next guy. We'll have to wait and see. For the Phillies, that would really help. For the Blue Jays, that would really help. So we'll have to keep an eye out for it. But everyone, that's all I have for tonight. That's all the rumors and news I have. We got to keep an eye out for all of these rumors this week. It is only Tuesday. We got until Friday at 4 o'clock. We got a long week ahead. We got a lot of rumors, a lot of news to talk about. Everyone, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. I really appreciate you guys coming out tonight. Main Adventures with a last-second $5 super chat. Main Adventures is calling you guys out. 350 people in the chat. Where are the likes? As of right now, we're at 175 likes. Everyone, if you can hit that like button for me, please hit that like button for me. Let's get to 200 before we get out of here tonight. But I'm going to get out of here, everyone. I'll be back here tomorrow night to talk any more news and rumors. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. Have a good rest of your night. Have a good day tomorrow. And I'll talk to you next time.